Hi friends, Shaina Bilow here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to start a shawl using an I-cord tab cast on. Here we've got an I-cord that was worked for 5 or 6 rows, and then stitches were picked up around the edges of it on 3 of its sides to begin this shawl in a nice smooth way. Most I-cords are worked with 3 stitches, 2 or 3 stitches, so I'm going to loop my yarn onto my needle and work a long tail cast on for 3 stitches. The key to making I-cord is that you're consistently knitting your 3 stitches in the same order. So typically when we knit, we turn the work around. We've cast on stitches 1, 2, and 3. We then work stitches 3, 2, and 1. With I-cord knitting, we're actually going to be consistently knitting stitches in this order, 1, 2, 3. In order to do that, you have 2 options. You can slide those stitches to the other end of the needle, and now we have stitch 1 presenting itself to us, and we're going to knit across those. So I'm connecting the yarn that's attached to stitch 3. I'm connecting it to stitch 1, and this will make a tube. So that's one way to get those stitches to the other end of the needle so that you can access stitch 1. The other way is to slide the stitches over onto the left-hand needle. You'll have to do that, of course, if you are using straight needles. Here, since I have circular needles, I can slide my stitches across. So I've already worked 1 row of I-cord. In this case, I'm going to be working 5 rows of I-cord for this edge, for the tab. So that was row 2, and then I'm going to slip the stitches back. And I've switched over to English style knitting just to slow myself down a bit. Here we've got stitch 1. My yarn is connected to stitch 3. Wrapping the yarn around, knitting. So now I've worked 3 rows of the I-cord. I'm going for 5. So here we have our cast on, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide the stitches over so that we're accessing stitch number 1 or column number 1, and knit our 5th row of I-cord. In the pattern for this I-cord, we then put the stitches back onto the left-hand needle, and then we begin our pickup for the I-cord tab. And just to give you an overview of what's going to happen here, we're going to work these 3 stitches. Then we're going to pick up 3 stitches along the side edge of the I-cord that we created, and then we're going to pick up 3 stitches into the cast-on edge of the I-cord that we had made. All right, so starting here, doing basically another row of I-cord. Stitch 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to pick up 3 stitches across the lower edge of this I-cord, or really the upper edge as it's facing me, but along this side here, I'm going to skip over row 5 of the I-cord, and I'm going to pick up into row 4 right here on the edge. I'm going to insert my needle into the loop on the edge, wrap my yarn for knit, and bring that up and through. If you're an English style knitter, it's the same thing. You go into this loop here. This now is row 3 from our original I-cord. Wrap the yarn around and bring it through. Now we're going into row 2. I'm stabbing my needle into the row, wrapping the yarn around, and then bringing that to the front. After you've done that, we're now going to turn the piece again about 90 degrees so that we're facing the cast-on edge here. And I'm going to insert into this very first stitch that looks like a little letter V. I'm inserting my needle, wrapping the yarn around, and bringing up a stitch. Then I'm going into the next V, inserting the needle in, wrapping the yarn around, pulling up a stitch, and then finally into this edge here. And it's a little tight because we've created a tube with the I-cord, so it makes sense that it's a little tight. I've wrapped the yarn around and pulling it through. So we've now got 9 stitches on the needle, and we've connected in one row the beginning of the I-cord with the end of the I-cord, creating this really nice smooth line, so that when we knit a shawl, this starts expanding and we now have 3 stitches on each edge that seem to be infinite and infinitely connected. Happy knitting!